Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and...
Go Betches!
I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Erica.
And Maria.
Erica.
No.
The effort was there once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a special episode.
We're going back to nostalgia.
We are...
I have to say, I've read so many Goosebumps books.
Spoiler, we're doing Goosebumps. If this is a book podcast, normally, you know, we do the swears and the spoiling and you know the rest. We are going to spoil this book. We'll probably swear, but I think this one's fine to have some kids around.
Okay.
We'll take it easy.
I'll try not to swear.
Oh, we're going to try to do a clean...
Let's try it. We can try it.
Are we going to be funny without swearing?
Nope.
It's our crutch.
Also, I did have this thought beforehand. I told Kristen this, but I was thinking, do we have enough to fill an episode about Goosebumps? Mm-hmm. And then I also thought, are we funny enough to fill an episode of Goosebumps?
No, and
without some, you know, things that happen in books that make us laugh like crazy, which is usually sexual bullying things.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. We'll probably swear. I have to tell stories. I gotta swear. It's a part of my language.
I don't like that we're like promising something I don't think we're gonna.
That's
be able
why
to
I'm
deliver
saying
on.
this. That's why I'm saying this.
I mean, we didn't promise.
I
we
can't
just said
promise
maybe.
that like
Be
something I
free.
say will be okay.
Our first episode, we didn't swear. I think until the very end. You had said
I think she swore
you
first.
swore, and then I was like, "Oh, we're doing this."
Yeah, I think she swore
I
first.
have the mouth of a fucking sailor.
I don't know why we went in trying to be clean. I don't know if we felt like we
We
had
went
to.
in thinking that we were going to be anonymous, and
Yeah, we had a whole
completely
totally
anonymous.
different expectations for this podcast. But
Things have changed
And again,
dramatically.
I don't want to go back. All right. So Goosebumps. We have all somehow Goosebumps has crossed your path. No? Is that fair to say?
This is my first time reading Goosebumps.
It's my first time sitting down and reading an entire Goosebumps book.
You've never read Goosebumps?
Neither have
not from front to back, sitting down and reading it.
What?
I've read
it as
parts.
a kid?
I've read parts of it.
I never read as a kid.
I didn't read, Erica.
My books were Bailey School Kids. Those are the ones I liked. Those are my mystery books that I liked.
I didn't read.
Goosebumps, the covers used to always, and this is funny coming from me, the covers used to freak me out.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my god, I've read like every Goosebumps book.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Yeah.
That shocks me.
I loved these books.
Doesn't shock me.
I used to be actually
Given where you are now, I'm surprised.
I read a lot as like a young kid.
Same.
As
but
like
just not that.
as like a 10 to like 13-year-old, I'd say.
Definitely.
Yeah, I used to read a ton.
And then once like boys
Sports.
and like sports and like making out with people on couches like came into the picture, I was like, I'm not gonna read a book about that.
Yeah.
No, I
think
still-
that's where my niece is right now. I told her like she's like, I don't read books. What are those?
They're boys out there.
But I've read a lot of like those younger like early on chapter books.
My brother was really into Goosebumps, which is surprising because he definitely didn't read them. I don't think he's ever read. Maybe he has. I'm sorry, Corey. Maybe you've read books.
Yeah, I don't know why you say your brother doesn't read because he obviously recommends you books.
He does. Yeah, you're right. He recently got into reading, but there was a long period of time where
I think we all go through that.
A long period of time.
We all go through that.
Well, I always remember seeing the covers, like you mentioned, and it's always that fucking skeleton barbecuing. Remember that one?
That one's called?
No, but I just, that's the one that's like ingrained in my mind. It's a skeleton and he's cooking up the meals.
I'm searching it right now.
Do you know, Erica? Come on, you've read them all.
I honestly,
or that little kid that they talked about in our Discord. There was that little fucking Chucky doll looking thing running around.
This one.
All willy-nilly.
Say cheese and die.
Yeah, say cheese. That one. That is Goosebumps to me. Say cheese and die. That's the one we should have read.
Okay, well, we fucked up.
Well, I didn't see it. So we decided since
It's
this
the fourth book in the original.
We decided since this is our thriller batch, how can we end the month with something light, fun, and short? I'll be honest, it was a short book and we felt like, okay, we could read this fast.
We haven't done a kid's book in a while.
We haven't. And so the book that we chose out of the Goosebumps series, is that what it is?
Yep.
Was One Day at Horrorland. And we all know R.L. Stine. Is that it?
Yes,
R.L.
Stine.
Yeah.
Very famous author. The Night of the Living Dummy was the one I was thinking about. Where that like
The puppet.
I remember that one.
I don't mess with puppets, man. I mean, Garrett, the The fact that he does puppets, it's too close to home for
Try
me.
living with him
I
in
remember this
college.
one.
I
too.
lived with him enough.
No, in college when
Do you
had
remember
it
the
everywhere.
haunted mask?
Yes.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
One time I had to sleep in Garrett's room for whatever reason. I think I had a friend over and they had him sleep in my bed and I slept in Garrett's bed. And he had Parker propped up in the corner.
Yeah, it's fun.
Parker is Garrett's puppet. He's had him the longest. It's this purple, almost looks like Barney kind of thing. And in the night, it's just those eyes and the mouth open. And I'm like, God damn it,
I don't
Parker.
mess with dolls or puppets.
I used to have 2 porcelain dolls as a kid, right? And my mom put them in the top 2 corners of my bedroom.
No.
I hated them. I thought every night their heads would move. And I am not ashamed to say I broke them on purpose.
Whoa.
And told my mom, I don't know, it fell. Sorry.
Porcelain. What was up with the obsession of
Porcelain
porcelain
dolls.
dolls?
It's freaking weird, man.
My mom had one that was like
this is the one I used to
Christmas.
drink. I used to
It was
read.
like a Christmas one, and I like hated it so much. And I swear to God, she just put it up to fuck with me.
Well, this book that we read, The One Night in Horrorland, do we know when that published? Was that like an original?
It was number 16 in the series.
Okay, so
So
essentially,
it was like pretty later. It was published in 2003.
oh, really?
September 1st, 2003 by Scholastic.
Okay.
First published February 1994.
Oh, never mind.
Full transparency, what we did was we went on Scribd. I looked up Goosebumps, and I was like, okay, these are short, they're fun, they're thrillery.
123 pages.
Yeah, 123 pages, and there's a few on here, and that one had the highest rating. That was why I went with that one. And it was fun.
I thought it was
It
great.
was fun.
Yeah.
It was an audiobook on Scribd too, which I think added
I listened to the
vibe.
audiobook
Me
and I
too.
thought it was really, really fun.
It was
like,
adorable.
A little.
Wait,
there
we
was
should
like,
do the 60. Are we
yeah,
going to do a 60
we are
second?
going
doing
to.
it.
Okay.
But the audiobook, a kid was reading it.
I don't think a kid was reading. I think it's probably an adult who has a kid
Who has,
voice.
like, a
Oh, really?
Like the
cartoon
person
voice.
who does the voice for Rugrats. Like she was an adult woman.
Or like any of the cartoons ever.
Yeah,
True.
They're
She's
all
a really good
adults.
singer. All right. Maria's going to do it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're new here, we do this thing on our podcast where we attempt to explain the book, the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, we've got Goosebumps, One Night in Horrorland by R.L. Stine, and we have our very own Maria, the horror expert, is going to do this.
Not an expert.
Are you ready?
No.
Me neither. I got to get the clock up. On your mark. Get set. Go.
All right, Luke and Lizzie are with their parents and their friend Clay. Clay's another kid. They are on their way to a amusement park, but they have no map and they can't find this amusement park. They pass by a billboard that says Horrorland, come visit now. So the kids are like, yeah, let's go there. Oh my gosh, let's go to Horrorland. So the parents are like, fine, whatever. The dad's very frustrated because he can't find where to go.
Fair.
Goes to Horrorland. As they get out of the car in Horrorland, their car blows up. They are stuck at Horrorland. The parents are going off to try to find help to get a new car, whatever. The kids go off to just do the actual park. They keep going through these different amusement rides, and each one's terrifying. There's a doomsday slide. Clay gets lost. There's like this mirror room, and all the kids get lost at some
15.
point. So basically, all these things happen. Turns out it's actually a monster TV show. It's like hijinks, like punked for monsters, and they were all on the
5.
show. And then they head back home, but then there was a monster on the back of their car, and they were like, "Here, you have
3,
free tickets for life
2. Wow.
to come back to Horrorland."
That was really good.
Did I
Wow.
do it?
First
did
thing I
really good.
noticed, 90s, you got to use maps.
Yeah,
Fuck.
MapQuest, bro. I think about that all the time when I'm going places I've never been before. Like when I go to New York, right, to drive to New York, I think, how do people do this before GPSs?
It blows my mind.
Maps. My dad had a map.
No,
My
you
dad
would
still
have
has
to
a map.
pull
but who did
over.
the maps?
No,
Who
he
did
would
the
have
maps?
it in the next to his seat, and he would pull it out while he was driving. Like
That's unsafe.
So dangerous.
But so like his map would be like
The map
I lived
books.
Yeah.
I lived in what was called Merrimack Valley essentially when I was younger, when maps were a thing. And basically there was like a book of maps,
Yeah.
and it was all different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So it would be a lot closer of a look into like what the streets were. So you weren't looking at like a map as what you would like see on like whatever.
atlas.
It would be more concentrated to
Right.
like streets and routes and stuff, and
Sure.
like highways and stuff.
My dad was using maps for so long. I actually remember when the TomTom became
Yeah.
like the newest sensation. My friend's dad had one.
GPS?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the TomTom was like
My
the
mom
original,
still has
right?
one.
Do you
TomTom.
remember like having MapQuest
Yep.
instructions?
My
Yeah.
dad would print it out.
Yeah, my dad didn't know how to work a printer, so he had his atlas that he would always use, and like I remember that, which is crazy to think about.
I use MapQuest instructions. Yeah.
Today?
Don't.
Not now, but
Oh.
like back
Yeah, we
when I
all
was
did.
when I was first starting to drive.
When I worked at WWE, I MapQuest how to get to the train station. It was what 2014 when I started.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I folded my MapQuest thing and I put it in my visor, and I still have it. It was like my
Yeah.
first job, like real
Cute.
job, with my
MapQuest,
career.
yeah, was still not like.
Yeah,
I don't think it's fully
a good
phased out
point.
until
I didn't even think about that.
Let's see if it's still open.
like the iPhone introduced the maps option.
Yeah,
Like-
but it's just so funny. The kickoff of this book is that they're lost because they didn't have a GPS.
You didn't get
That's really-
instructions.
like
It's
if it
very
was-
funny.
So-
My favorite part of this entire book was when the car blew up. And
Yes.
the dad was like, "What? My car!"
and everyone else is like, "Can we go in?" He's like, "My God!"
It was the best part of the whole book.
This father has gone
laughing
through
so
so
hard.
much because also the fight between the father and the mom
Yeah.
of them, like, well, why don't you stop for directions? I'm not going to stop for directions.
It was like
so well written. You could. I really
was like-
felt that.
But it was always like, Mom explained, Dad yelled, I whispered, like every single
It's
thing
very-
said.
yeah, it's
it was
very-
kid, obviously.
But like it has to be. It
Yeah,
has to be easily
totally.
digestible
And I loved
like
it.
that.
It was cute. But, yes, there's
the dad of the garble. It was like, what
out
happened?
of all things, like I thought,
And the mom was just like, we're all safe.
at least we got out, you know. But the fact that it blew up, out of all things, instead of like maybe the cables being cut, you know, where it can't even turn on, it just boom.
Yeah, when they got to Horrorland, that was the first thing that happened. They pulled into Horrorland, they parked their car, like, let's go check it out. And their car explodes. And as Erica said, yeah, the dad was freaking out naturally. I think
As
I
I
would
would.
freak out too.
I'd be crying.
And the rest of the family was like, no, we're okay. So that's fine.
It's okay. The kids were just like,
Let's go into the park. So when they go in, essentially the monsters, the creatures that were
I
there.
horrors.
loved that
yeah.
they call them the horrors.
But I
thought that was
started
so
hearing
fun.
horrors after a while, and I was
Horrors?
like, "Oh
Yeah.
no!"
The
I
horrors.
didn't.
I don't. For some reason, I kept thinking of. This is really weird, but I kept thinking of what's that grocery store in Norwalk?
Whole Foods.
No,
Stu Leonard's?
Stu Leonard's. I was like, I feel like I'm in Stu Leonard's, and
I
all those
hate Stu
animatronics
Leonard's.
are like.
I hate Stu Leonard's, and I like that you said that because that place is scary to me.
How could you hate?
I don't like it. It's the
Chiquitas are delicious. And
that's
very
no.
nutritious.
For those who are not
Chiquita
from
banana.
this area,
Chiquita banana.
the fact that you know this song is bad. I didn't grow up here or anything. We didn't grow up here. Did you grow up near Stu Leonard's?
I grew up. Yeah,
Did you grow up near Stu
I
Leonard's?
never went
No.
to one.
So this is just normal because you've been here long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay. There's animatronics in this freaking grocery store, and
It's
at
a
every level, and all the
local
kids.
store.
The local store. The kids have to stop and make these things play, and it's annoying as fuck. And then also the grocery store is. It's basically the IKEA of grocery stores. You cannot just go to aisles. There's no aisles.
Yeah, there's no aisles. You
It's-
walk
you
through.
walk through the entire grocery
It's a
store.
maze.
Okay, but free Samps, and that's all that matters. So to me, Horrorland, very similar to Stu Leonard's. I know that's very like,
I think it's a
niche.
horror.
yeah, it's niche,
It's
and you
scary as
guys
hell.
understand it. We've explained it, so that's good. But so when they get there, there's these horrors, and this is when all the excitement
and they're
starts.
so weird.
They
like
are
they're,
weird.
Yeah.
They're the horrors.
And
like,
they're not, like-
say weird things, and they're like
They're kind of nice though.
Yeah, I thought they were kind of, and I don't know if it's because we listened to the book and it's
Yeah.
like the narrator sounds like a child,
Yeah.
you know, and just like, well, go down the slide.
Yeah.
Hope you don't find the one that takes you forever.
Yeah.
And you
yeah,
slide
like
to your
they
doom.
lose one of the kids.
Well, you
and
choose
they're
a
like-
slide,
Yeah,
and
they lose one of the kids, and they're like, "Well, where could he be?" And she's like, "Well, he might have gone down the doom slide."
Yes, yeah.
And they're like, "Which one's the doom slide?" And she's like,
he took
"The
number 10.
other one."
Yeah.
So he's like, let's go back down the slide and go get him. And so they slide down the slide that was Clay's slide to try to find Clay. And it was, I don't know, remind me what happened on the slide. A lot of scary things
It
happened
was
within
just
there.
it just kept going forever, and it was
And they kept
so
screaming.
fast. It was so fast, and it kept going, kept going,
I gotta
kept going.
say,
I thought they were sliding into another dimension.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I
heard the
didn't
slide
know,
part.
like, I didn't remember Goosebumps, what, like, how they end.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if they ended happy or not. Like,
I didn't
I
either.
forgot.
They
didn't
had
either.
to. It's kids.
Yeah, I
No. I mean, like, these are weird books. Like,
Not weird. That
Yeah.
weird.
so I was like,
This reminds me of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
yeah.
That's the vibes I
Yeah.
get. I get the vibes of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
We get a little ghost story, but at the end of the day, everyone goes home alive.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where we were going with it. But were you gonna say something?
I missed it. Oh, the Doom slide. I definitely wanted to go on it.
I knew you
Like
would.
I'm listening to, it, I was like, that sounds fun.
It does sound fun. I thought that they were gonna slide into a different part of the park, like the actual horror land.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But essentially, they ended up getting out. Clay was like, "I was looking for you guys," and they were like, "We were looking for you."
Yeah,
Then there's another attraction where it's like mirrors,
yeah.
and I wanted to bring
those
this
are
up.
scary as
Why
hell.
are mirrors so creepy?
because they're portals.
Says who?
The internet.
Wait, tell me more. Okay, because as a kid,
My mom hates mirrors.
let's unpack that.
as a kid, yeah, let's.
I'm gonna
unpack.
search it.
You remember Bloody Mary?
Yeah, I never did it.
Oh my god.
That was such a big thing when we were kids. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Bloody Mary has caused me so many sleepless nights.
Erica, you have no fucking idea how much Bloody Mary
Did you guys
scared
do
me.
it?
All
No,
the time.
no, I wouldn't.
All the
I
time.
refused. We did it at my friends
At like parties and stuff.
My
You would have to do it as
at
a
a
dare.
sleepover. My friend did it at one of our friends' like really haunted houses. I grew up in a town that was very haunted. Like one of the houses near me is literally on the Discovery Channel, a haunting, and it's one of the ones in Connecticut. Everything there is on Indian burial ground, so it makes sense. Like everything's haunted over there. But we would do those creepy things, and I wanted zero part in it. Nothing to do with it because I believed it all. I was like, yep, there's a lady. She's going to come and she's going to kill us. And I didn't want anything to do with it.
I think people are scared of mirrors because you're scared of what you'll see in it in terms of like something behind you.
Yes.
Like type thing. 'Cause
Yes.
that's
Every
always
time
what's
I'm washing
scary.
my face, like at night
You
when I'm
think
washing
you
my
see
face,
something.
I'm gonna
Yes.
wash the front, and I go up and I'm like, I bet you someone's gonna be behind me.
Because so many movies do that.
Do that.
Also, I live on the first floor, and I have windows that I usually not open, but the blinds are open all night because in the morning that's where my plants get their sun, and that faces my bathroom. And so I'm always, whenever I'm washing my face, what I think is that someone's in that window staring at me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
I think of that.
I had another nightmare the other day that someone tried to kill me.
I think of that classic scary story. Have you heard this one?
Which one?
So there's a woman sitting and watching TV, and she's home alone, and it's dark out, and whatever. And she notices that there's a man staring at her she notices there's like a man staring at her behind her in the reflection of the TV. So in the reflection of the TV, she sees like a guy outside behind her looking in her window. So she freaks out. She calls 911. The cops come, and the cops are like, where did you say you saw this guy? And she was like, outside, like behind me. I saw it from the reflection. And they were like, interesting. Well, there's footprints that lead up right behind you. So as it turns out, he was really standing right behind her, not behind her in the sliding glass
house.
door. He was in the house.
He was in the house.
He was in the house.
That's scary.
So I remember like hearing that as a kid and being like terrified. So these books were not on the top of my, like, I was such a scaredy cat.
I think we like have associated mirrors with scary moments in movies.
Mirrors, reflections, all those things to me are fucking
Because
terrifying.
our brain kind of like fucks with us sometimes.
Yeah.
And like I think people do see shit sometimes and not necessarily it's like real.
They're portals.
The portal thing is interesting
Like
too.
the mirror in her basement.
Okay, so I have a huge mirror in my
That's
basement.
just a portal.
That's
Yeah.
from the 40s. That's been
just
in
a
the house
portal.
since the house was built. I have concerns about moving
I'm
it
concerned.
because
That shit's a
I'm
portal.
concerned
You
that
can't move
it could be a portal to hell.
So I'm saying it's a portal.
I wouldn't move
I
it.
would prefer portal
Also,
to
like-
Narnia.
To me, mirrors in a way are a portal to parallel universes.
Yeah, so Lock and Key. I don't know if you've even
Is
seen
that a thing?
When you hover over Lock and Key on Netflix, the preview is literally the mom, the reflection has this big smile on her face, and she's like looking at it, and she's like, "What?" and reaches into the mirror
And goes in.
Yeah. So I think there's
Also,
a lot
There's,
of
if
that.
there's one thing I will never do, it's reach into a mirror.
Also,
I might.
The Matrix.
I might.
How does he go into the Matrix? Through
Through a
a
mirror.
mirror.
If it was enticing,
that.
if it was like a forest,
No,
on the
but
other
like,
side,
why would you think
and
you could
forests.
touch it? Why would you think you could touch a mirror like that?
If I'm looking at my reflection and it morphs into like mountains magically, my first instinct is like, why is it? That's magic. Like, of course I'm gonna touch it. Why wouldn't you touch it?
I do it at
What do you mean?
hotels. I do that finger thing, like when you put your finger against it to see if it's a
make
two-way
sure
mirror.
I do that
It's
too.
not a
I do that too.
Halls of mirrors at like these fun houses kind of thing always freaked me out.
I mean, it's
Because you don't know
scary.
where
you don't know where
can
you
go.
are. You don't know where you are. And when you bump into yourself, I feel so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow.
And that kept happening to her. She kept
Yeah,
smashing her
there's
head.
a
At
lot
one
of
point, she was in a
scenes-
square.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes in books that have mirrors, like funhouse
there?
mirrors.
Like Us. Have you seen Us?
No,
No.
didn't it happen in? Oh, you didn't read it. I think Throne of Glass had like a funhouse mirror situation.
they?
Really?
I liked
Another
it in
book.
Us. Us
Well,
was
that's a
good.
movie.
I know, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
Another book I read, that's one of my favorite books, the Night Rebel series by Jeannie Frost, had like a funhouse thing, and like at the end it was like they trapped a demon in there and they like fucked with the demon in there. Like there's just some like really cool visuals and like things that you can do in fun houses
That's
that
what
I
was
think
cool.
make them
The visuals. But they got squished, didn't they? Like in this Goosebumps
it was
book.
it was closing in at
It
one
started
point.
closing in on them, and
So-
then how did they get free?
I can't remember how they got free.
I thought that like something bad was gonna happen.
I did too.
Like the
No,
whole
I
time.
didn't.
But like it's a
I
Goosebumps
didn't.
book. Obviously nothing
I
bad.
thought the parents were dead.
No,
That's just us. Like
you guys are just
thinking-
adults.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it with the lens of a kid.
I
I
know.
just didn't know what to expect.
Just like how Luke said, right, in the book. He was like, I just like getting scared. That's fun to be scared.
It seemed like
That's all it was. It's just to get you scared a little bit. And I love how every chapter ended in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
And it's like, it'd be like, and then I screamed.
yeah.
Chapter 4.
And then
It
I
was
saw
fun.
it. Chapter 5. It's so true.
It was a very fun book.
But how
loved
did it ended? So
So it
there was
ended
a,
with,
there was a
uh,
bat scene.
Yeah, the bats were a thing. And then they find their parents.
Yeah.
And there's like, they had to go in a coffin at one point.
There was like a game they had to do. The coffins were floating.
that was the second part of the game.
Oh.
There was a game of like running, and if you don't reach it in a certain amount of time, you die,
Yeah.
you know? And basically what gets revealed is that this entire park is housed to do a TV show on the Monster Channel. And
This was so silly.
but I thought it was so funny because at one point the dad's like, I've never heard of this. She goes, well, the Monster Channel, everyone loves the Monster. He goes, we don't have cable.
Yeah. I forgot about
There
that.
were some really funny
Yeah.
parts of
You
this book.
said, I don't watch that. Oh, I don't have cable anyway. So
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. And so they're like, yeah, good job. You survived. You've done the best survival rate. Da, da, da. And it sounded great. And then it turned into something else where it was like they have to run. And it kind of kept false ends every time.
Yeah.
Finally,
They got a bus.
they got a bus from somewhere and they escape.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get to their house, like, oh my God, we did it. They look, a horror was hanging off the edge of
That was a
their,
cute
their
twist.
truck the whole time.
It was cute.
It was cute.
And I can't remember what they said to him. It was like, leave us alone, stop.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm just here to give you tickets so you can come back to Horrorland.
That's how it ended.
And that's how it ended.
It was cute.
It
It
was.
was fun time.
I am surprised that all these kids' books, the consequences is death, but they never.
They never say it.
Nobody truly dies, but there is a
But
consequence.
they never say it. They never say you
Do they
die.
not?
No, it's sort of like you keep sliding to your doom. Like
Like
what
yeah, they
does
say
doom
it
mean?
like they say it like in a way that seems
you assume it's death, but they won't write out death.
That's really interesting.
So what's sliding to your doom? It could be sliding forever.
That's true. That's a good
Forever
point.
and ever and ever and ever.
Because as a reader, even as a kid, like there's got to be a consequence,
Mm-hmm.
right? In order for it's like, how do you? That has to be tough to write. Like these books.
as an adult, it's
Yeah.
crazy to write a book like this.
I
Like,
agree.
Did you guys? Oh, obviously it was kind of like a prologue to this book, which was narrated by the author.
I missed that.
There was basically a summary. It was a summary.
Oh yeah, I skipped it.
Oh, it was cute because it was
Oh,
R.L.
I know.
Stein,
I
and he
skipped it.
explains the whole story, and he's just like, Lizzie and her parents and her brother are
Oh,
off to
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I was
skipped
sitting
it.
there, I was like, this is cute.
I just didn't want to ruin it for me.
I think you just have to be so creative to write kids books like this.
1000%.
Because like think about like this. I don't know.
You
it's
have to have
so
the
wild.
imagination of
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah.
You have to have
Yeah.
their brain.
Yeah.
Like he's brilliant, and I thought like this was really well done for
The newest
being a child's book.
The newest Goosebumps movie with Jack Black was really good. Did
I
you
didn't
guys
know
see
there
it?
was a Goosebumps.
Oh my god, it's so good. Anything else you want to add about this book, about Goosebumps, about, did you feel like you were transported in time? Do you feel like a kid again? I guess you didn't read
feel
them.
like a kid. It made me want to read the Bailey School Kids again.
Yeah.
Just because those were my childhood.
It was just fun and silly and not what I expected. I was in the same boat as Erica where I was like, I don't remember how any of these end or what we're going with it, but I'm very happy with how
But it was a
played
ride.
out.
It was a fun ride.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I
2
liked
hours.
it.
Not even.
I liked it. Was it your favorite batch?
No, I like Stillhouse like the best. But,
Yeah, me too.
I was very entertained.
All right, guys. So what are we doing next time?
Well, we haven't picked them up yet.
We don't pick the books, but we did pick the genre.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, next batch is sci-fis. Erica's probably gonna fuck us over with a sci-fi erotica, but
I'm ready for it,
I'm
though.
here for it. I enjoyed Ice Planet Barbarian, so maybe I'll enjoy
Way more.
whatever she picks. So obviously, like, we don't have any recommendations, right?
No, I don't read any children's books anymore.
Yeah, none of us read
I am
kids'
not
books.
a child.
So
I am an adult, damn it.
So I'm not gonna recommend any books, but essentially that's pretty much it. I mean,
Well, I
if
think
you
we should start doing more children's books.
more.
Why? You like sex.
Yeah. What?
Well, there's going to be a new member on the show.
Wait.